In this video, we will discuss about rational inequalities. So at the end of the lesson, student will be able to solve rational inequality involving linear expressions. Okay, so for starter, when it comes to rational inequality, it means that our inequality can be expressed in the form of ratio or fraction or quotient as the example below. So kalau kita ada pecahan and then kita ada inequality sign, that means rational inequality. Okay, so first thing first, do not use cross multiplication in order to solve our rational inequality, but we have to collect all the terms to one side and then solve it by using suitable method. Okay, so now I will explain first why we cannot use cross multiplication across the inequality sign. Okay, so for example, now let's say if I have 3 over 4 less than 3. So by using cross multiplication means we have to multiply 3 with 4. That's how we get 3 is less than 12. Yes, there is no problem in this case. But if I have negative 4 on denominator part, then I'll multiply with 3. Now we will have a new statement of 3 less than negative 12, which by the way doesn't make sense at all. Okay, so in this case, it means that when it's involving negative number, you cannot simply apply cross multiplication process, or else we gonna get the wrong statement. Okay, apa yang dia masuk kat sini? Bila kita ada bahagian denominator part, bahagian bawah dengan negative number, kita tak boleh terus darab across our inequality sign so that nanti statement kita akan jadi mengarut. Okay, so in a rational inequality form, normally on denominator part, we would have an equation. For example, x minus 5. Okay, and in this case, kita tak tahu value of our x, whether it's positive or negative. So that's why kita tak boleh apply cross multiplication in this case. Okay, itu syarat dia. So kita ada dua syarat. Kalau bahagian denominator itu sekadar positive constant, yes, awak boleh terus darab macam contoh yang pertama tu. Tapi kalau bahagian denominator tu melibatkan negative number or an equation involving x, then you cannot apply cross multiplication process. Okay. So, these are the steps in order to solve our rational inequality problem. Step number 1, collect all the term to one side. What does it mean here? My recommendation would be our right hand side must be 0. So, collect all the term to our left side. Okay, and then step number 2, equalize the denominator and then factorize the expression. So what does it mean here? Means that we have to simplify our equation until we get single fraction and linear factors. Okay, so that's our target. Kalau kita just cakap simplify, awak tak tahu awak nak simplify apa kan? So target kita, we must have single fraction and then we must have linear factors on our left side. Okay, once we get the simplest form, then we may find all the zeros and then start solving it by using table sign method. Okay, so let's do an example, example 9a. So solve the following inequality. Alright, so we have 3x plus 1 divided by x minus 3 greater than 2. So remember, on denominator part now, we have an equation of x minus 3. So we cannot simply cross multiply with 2. Okay, ingat step yang tu. So, following our suggestion just now. So, step number 1, make sure our right hand side is 0. Pastikan bahagian kanan kita kosong. So, that's what I'll do now. So, I have 3x plus 1 over x minus 3 minus 2 greater than 0. Okay, settle with that. Moving on to the next step, make sure our left side single fraction and linear factor. Maksudnya bahagian kiri kita mesti ada satu je pecahan and then melibatkan linear factor. Apa maksud linear? Kuasa satu. So since now we have two different fractions, so I can equate the denominator. Itu yang kita buat kat sini. So kita akan dapat apa? 3x plus 1 minus 2 times with x minus 3 divided by x minus 3 greater than 0. Okay, then simplify this up. We have now x plus with 7 divided by x minus 3. Okay, double check the condition. We have a single fraction. Yes, ada satu je pecahan kat situ. And then our factors are linear. X kita kuasa 1. Okay, settle with that part. Now, we may start state our zeros. So, in this case, our zeros would be negative 7 and 3. Okay, following that, now we may start construct the table. Alright, so remember our table. First row is our first factor, so x plus 7. And then next one will be the next factor, x minus 3. And then for our last row will be our original function, so x plus 7 divided by x minus 3. Now complete all our number line following the column. So we may we must start with negative infinity. And then next one on the line, we have negative 7. After that, 3. And then last one, we must stop with positive infinity. Okay, so now we may complete all the signs. Alright, so first one, for the first factor, x plus 1, we will get 0 when it comes to negative 7. So I use empty circle here because from the question, we don't have equal sign. So you must use empty circle. So negative before that, positive after that. Moving on to the second factor, for x minus 3, we will get 0 when our x is 3. So I'll still use empty circle here. So negative before that and then positive after that. Now, complete the sign by processing one by one. So first one, negative divided by negative, we get positive. Positive divided by negative, we get negative. Last one, positive, positive is positive. Okay, and then bring down our um, empty circle. So last part, in order to choose our answer, please refer to the sign in our question. Since it's greater than 0 means we have to choose the positive sign. Okay, with an empty circle. So our final answer here, so it starts with negative infinity up till negative 7. And then continue with 3 up till positive infinity. Since we have two different intervals, we want to combine our answer, we must use union notation. Okay, so this is in the form of interval form. In the form of solution set form, it starts with x double dot. So we have now x less than negative 7 or x is greater than 3. Okay, so that's how we solve rational inequality. Okay, let's do another example. Moving on, next one, 9b. We have 3 over 3x minus 4 less than 1 over x plus 5. Okay, so remember our guideline just now. First step, make sure our right side would be 0. So I bring everything to our left side. So we have 3 over 3x minus 4 minus with 1 over x plus 5 less than 0. And then moving on, make sure it must be one fraction with linear factors. Okay, so we may equate the denominator. So 3 times with x plus 5 minus 3x minus 4 divided by 3x minus 4 x plus 5 less than 0. Simplify our numerator part. We may get now 19 divided by 3x minus 4 times with x plus 5 less than 0. Okay, so we already satisfied the condition. Single fraction, linear factors. Okay, kalau perasan kat sini, on denominator part, bahagian bawah, bila saya samakan pembawah tadi, we get two different factor. Saya highlight tu. Okay, so for that part, leave it as it is. Jangan usik. Tak perlu awak kembangkan. Kalau awak kembangkan, nanti awak akan dapat quadratic factor. Quadratic equation. Bila dah dapat quadratic, tak ikut syarat kan? Syarat kita tadi mesti linear factors. So kalau awak dah kembangkan, nanti awak kena factorize balik. Jalan kerja awak jadi panjang. Step yang berulang. Awak kembangkan, lepas tu awak factorkan balik. Buang masa lah kat situ. So ingat, kalau nak kembangkan sesuatu tu, double check. If it's linear factor, leave it as it is lah. Jangan buat apa-apa dah. Okay. Alright, so now in this case, our zeros will be -5 and 4/3. Okay, so we have two different zeros and we may start construct the table. So our first row will be x, and then we have the first factor. Oh, sorry. Okay, even though on numerator part we only have a constant 19, kita still tulis benda tu sebagai kita punya first number lah dalam table kita. Okay, nanti saya explain kenapa. Okay, and then next one kita sambung with our factor 3x minus 4 and then x plus 5. Okay, and remember for our last row, it's our original question. Alright. Okay, now we may start with our column. So always begin with negative infinity. Next on the line would be -5. After that, we have 4/3. And then last one would be positive infinity. Okay, so for 19 on our numerator part just now. Okay, from here, kita tahu sign dia tak akan berubah because we don't have x equation in that part. So sebab dia positive number 19, for all the part, I'll use positive sign. So kalau nombor dia positif, semuanya awak tulis positif. Katakanlah dalam soalan tu dia -19 macam saya letak tu. Maksudnya semua sign nanti akan tukar jadi negatif. So ikut je sign kepada constant tu. Kalau positif semua positif, kalau negatif semua negatif. Okay. And then kita dah boleh proceed as usual. Alright, so for 3x minus 4, our zeros would be 4/3. I'll use empty circle sebab follow the question. So before that it's negative and then it's positive. And then for x plus 5, our 0 will be at -5. So before it's negative, after it's positive. Bring down our circle and then produce our sign. So we will get positive, negative, positive. Last part, choose our region based on our inequality sign. Since it's less than 0, so we have to choose negative region. So our answer, -5 up till 4/3 open interval. Or in the form of solution set, x double dot -5 less than x less than 4/3. Okay. Alright, I'll continue with next part. So example 9c, we have x squared minus 6x plus 9 divided by x minus 7 at least 0. Okay. So ikut guideline sama macam tadi. First step, right hand side kosong. Okay, dah cantik 0. Second part, make sure single fraction. Betul, kita dah ada satu je pecahan. And then must have linear factors. So since this one is still in quadratic, so kita kena factorize this up. So x squared minus 6x plus 9. If we factorize this one, we get x minus 3, x minus 3. Careful with that. Once you compute this using calculator, jawapan awak memang akan keluar satu je jawapan 3. So, kalau keluar satu jawapan maksudnya apa? It's repeated factor. Jawapan yang sama berulang 2 kali. Saya kategoriskan this one as repeated factors. So, you have to use it twice. Okay, jangan tulis x minus 3 sahaja. Then dia jadi mengarut tak tally. Ataupun awak boleh buat x minus 3 squared. Tunjuk benda tu berulang 2 kali. Okay. So from here settle. Dah cantik. Linear factor with single fraction means our zeros in this case is 3 and 7. Now we may start construct the table. Okay. So since we have repeated factor just now, x minus 3, in our table, we have to use it twice. Maksudnya, 2 kali awak buat x minus 3. And then we have x minus 7. Means in this case, kita guna factor yang sama 2 kali tu, buatlah 2 kali. Jangan tulis dia sekali je. Nanti kita tengok lepas ni kenapa mesti buat 2 kali. Okay. So, for our number line, begin with negative infinity. Next one, 3. After that, 7. Last one, stop at positive infinity. Okay. So now we have to complete the sign as usual. I'll start with the first part, x minus 3. This will be 0 when our x is 3. So, bahagian saya bulatkan tu careful. Alright. So, since our question, we have equal sign. Saya highlight kalau kuning tu. Equal sign means it's included. So, bila included, topic 1 kita dah belajar, we have to use then circle. So, kat situ saya guna bulat hitam. Okay. So, before that's negative, after that it's positive. So, same thing for the second factor because it's still x minus 3. So, saya repeat benda yang sama kat sini Okay. Alright, next one, x minus 7. So, for x minus 7, this will be 0 when our x is 7. So, by right, because the notation in the question, saya patut letak dan circle juga kat sini. Okay, but kita kena refer balik original statement. Okay, so if I choose our x as 7 kan, sebab kalau saya guna dan circle kat sini, maksudnya saya pilih x saya sebagai 7. So, but if I substitute 7 into our original question, maksudnya saya ganti 7 kat dalam soalan macam ni, kita akan dapat contoh ni, 7 tolak 3, 7 tolak 3 divide by 7 minus 7. On denominator part, nanti kita akan dapat kosong. Betul? Bahagian atas tu, sekejap saya tulis simplify Bahagian atas tu yes, kita akan dapat apa? 4 times 4, kita akan dapat 16 but denominator part awak akan dapat 0. So 16 divided by 0, by right awak akan dapat math error undefined. Nanti jawapan kita dah tak wujud. So this is not acceptable. Tak boleh benda ni. Because of that means we have to exclude 7. Maksudnya kat sini to adjust kita punya notation so that kita akan dapat jawapan on 7 just now, kita mesti guna open circle. Tak boleh guna dan circle. Okay. Saya ulang balik Kenapa kita kena reject? Okay. So, if I use then circle means 7 would be included. So, kalau 7 tu kita accept, kita includekan dia, kita ganti balik dalam original question, kita akan dapat 16 over 0. Which by the way leads to undefined answer. Kita tak terima benda tu. Tiba-tiba dia jadi undefined situation. So in order to avoid that condition, kita nak avoid the situation, we have to exclude 7 from our case. That's why I use empty circle. Okay, so to generalize this, maksudnya kat sini, every time for rational inequality, for numerator part, follow the question. Bahagian atas, kita ikut soalan. Kalau soalan tu ada equal, awak guna dan circle, bulat hitam. Kalau soalan tu tak ada equal, then awak guna bulat putih, empty circle. But for denominator part, bahagian bawah, sentiasa kena guna open circle, open interval, empty circle. Okay. Yang tu kena hati-hatilah soalan exam selalu perangkap part tu. Okay. So, next part continue Apply the same rule before that is negative, after that is positive. Okay. Then, kita produce the sign. Hati-hati kat sini satu-satu kena darabkan. So, saya start dengan yang first. Negatif darab negatif, positif. Positif times negatif, awak akan dapat negatif. Okay. Next one, positif, positif, negatif. So, kita akan dapat negatif juga. Last one awak akan dapat positif. So, saya bawa turun the circle. So, we have open and close here. Alright, so in order to choose final answer, remember refer to our sign. So in this case, it's greater than 0. So kita kena pilih positive region. So our answer should be 7 up to infinity. Okay, patutnya berhenti di situ. Tapi, okay, lagi sekali banyak tapi soalan ni kan. Kita kena careful dengan our then circle notation just now. Saya highlight tu, then circle. Then circle ni merujuk kepada siapa? Merujuk kepada 3. Yes, by the region, negative infinity sampai 3 kita tak nak because dia negatif. 3 sampai 7 pun saya tak nak sebab dia negatif. But at 3 itself, kita dah letak benda tu sebagai included. So maksudnya 3 itself sahaja yang termasuk dalam jawapan. Interval yang melibatkan 3 tak masuk dalam jawapan, but the 3 itself masuk dalam jawapan. Okay. So we have to include 3 in our answer. Kalau kita nak tulis satu nombor je, awak dah belajar at topic 1, we have to use curly bracket. Since we have 2 answer, to combine it, we have to use union sign. Itulah jawapan dia. 3 union with 7 up till positive infinity. Okay. Ini kena hati-hati. Ini berlaku kepada repeated factor punya case. Case yang pelik macam ni lah. Tiba-tiba kita ambil satu constant sebagai jawapan tu kan. Bercombine dengan interval, dia jadikan repeated factors. Okay. Settle with 9C. Now I proceed with 9D. Okay, so 9D, we have x squared minus 4x over x plus 4 at most x minus 1. So ikut guideline tadi First step, right hand side 0. Make sure single fraction. Make sure linear factors. So that's why I'll do here. Okay, first step, bring everything to our left side. In this situation, I recommend please always use a bracket. Means kita buat negative of x minus 1. Saya tak recommend awak tukar satu-satu sign. Maksudnya terus jadi negative x plus 1. Nanti akan ada kesilapan lah, careless mistake masa awak nak simplify. So better use a bracket there. Okay. And then we have to equate the denominator sebab kita nak jadikan dia single fraction. Okay. Alright, after that you have to expand, no other choices. So I get x squared plus 4x minus x, so plus 3x minus 4 divided by x plus 4. Last part, simplify this up, we get negative 7x plus 4 divided by x plus 4. Okay. So now, highlight on our last part, we have a negative factor here. So for negative factor, kenapa maksud saya negative factor tu, kita ada negative 7x. Maksudnya x sekarang negatif. All this while daripada A sampai C, awak jawab semua x awak positif. Okay, so kat sini kita ada negative x. Kena hati-hati. When it comes to negative factor, we have two option. Option number 1, we just change the sign into positive factor. Maksudnya saya tukar dia kepada positif. Option number 2, kita biar je dia negatif, tapi something kita kena buat kat table kita. Apa yang berbeza daripada table tu, saya cuba conteng kat tepi je lah Okay. Let's say I have negative 7x plus 4. Contoh macam ni. Zeros is still 7, zeros is still negative 4 over 7. Kita, patah balik. Okay, in this case tadi zeros kita akan samalah. Saya tulislah zeros dulu, nanti kita confuse. Negative 4 dengan 4 over 7. Okay, we only have two zeros here. Okay, so kita akan dapat negative dengan 4 over 7 macam ni. Okay, so if we have a negative factor, zero je sama still macam tu. Kita kena guna dan circle. Sebab dia negatif, dia akan jadi terbalik daripada biasa. Biasanya kita buat negatif sebelum, positif selepas kan. Now, because dia dah ada positive factor, dia akan jadi terbalik. Dia kena jadi plus sebelum, negatif selepas. Awak kena change dia punya pattern yang selalu kita buat. Which by the way, saya akan perasan selalu student akan terlupalah benda ni. Dia terlupa nak terbalikkan, apa tu nanti bila darab-darab dia jadi confused. Okay, so this is the second option. Which I tak recommend sangatlah awak buat sebenarnya sebab ramai orang akan terlupa benda ni, nak terbalikkan sign tu. So what my suggestion would be, daripada awal, daripada soalan ni, kita always make sure dia jadi positive factor. Lagi senang. So dekat table nanti kita standard je. Semua kita buat before negative, after positive. So here saya terus tukar Saya tukar jadi positive factor. So dia akan jadi 7x minus 4 over x plus 4 greater or equal to 0. Kita hanya tukar bahagian atas sahaja. Bahagian bawah tak terlibat. But because it's involved inequality, that's why kita kena terbalikkan sign juga. Okay. So dia dah jadi positive factor yang cantik. Zeros tak effect. Now we may start construct the table. So we have 7x minus 4. and then x plus 4. So last one would be our original function. And then our number line begin from negative infinity, negative 4, 4 over 7, and last one positive infinity. Now we may start complete the sign. Okay, so for 7x minus 4, we will get 0 if x is 4 over 7. Careful, we have equal sign in the question, so I have to use then circle. Negative, negative, positive. Next one, for x plus 4, this would be 0 when x is negative 4. Even though soalan kita ada equal, tapi this one on denominator part bahagian bawah. So, kita tukar jadi empty circle. Okay, so negative, positive, positive. Now, kita boleh product the sign. Negative, negative akan jadi positive, negative, positive, negative. Last one, positive. Okay, to choose the region, make sure we choose last part ni tadi yang kita dah tukar sign. So from here, our answer must be greater than 0. That's why we choose positive region. So our final answer should be negative infinity up till negative 4 union with 4 over 7 is close. Sorry, saya tersalah guna sign. Hati-hati tengok benda tu. 4 over 7 up till positive infinity. Saya tertinggal jadi bawa turun kan. Hati-hati ni. Satu empty circle. Satu then circle. So, if empty, we use open bracket. If then circle, you have to use close bracket. Okay. Alright. Settle with next part. That part 9D. Okay. Moving on. 9E. So for this one, dia tak ada apa yang pelik. Awak just ikut je guideline Ikut step tadi tau. First step apa tadi? Make sure bahagian kanan kosong. Second step, jadikan single fraction. Third step, make sure linear factor. Saya terus bagi jawapan akhir untuk awak practice. Kalau ada masalah, nanti awak inform kepada saya lah. Okay, so in this part, our final answer should be negative 1 up till 2. Union with 7 over 2 up till positive infinity. Untuk soalan ni awak akan dapat 3 zeros nanti. Saya tulis jugalah untuk awak double check sebelum start table. Your zeros are negative 1, 2 and 7 over 2. Awak akan dapat 3 zeros. Jangan terkejut lah. Boleh je dapat 3 zeros kat dalam soalan. Okay. After that, construct table as usual. Then dapatlah jawapan macam yang saya bagi ni. Kalau tak dapat juga, awak boleh inform saya nanti ya. Okay, next one, 9F. This one pun sama, ikut je step. Nanti awak boleh check jawapan, saya terus bagi jawapan akhir. So, for this question, your zeros should be negative 8, negative 2, 1 and 4. So, after construct the table, your answer would be negative 8 up till negative 2. Union with 1 up till 4. Alright. Itu ya. Okay. Next one. This example. Okay. So this one involving repeated factor. Saya bagi jawapan akhir juga untuk awak practice. Dia punya pattern sama macam example 9C. Ikut example 9C punya step ya. So your answer should be 2 union with 5 up till positive infinity. Okay. And then last one, saya proceed terus kepada last example. We have x squared plus 2 divided by x plus 6 less or equal to 0. Okay. So, in order to solve it, kita ikut step tadi. First one, buat apa? Saya ulang banyak kali ni sampai awak muntah awak nak dengar. Tak apa, yang penting terus ingat. First step, right hand side must be 0. Okay, dah cantik kosong. Jangan usik. Second step, single fraction. Dah cantik juga single fraction on our right side. On our left side. And then third step, make sure linear factors. In this case, we have a quadratic. So, we have to factorize this up. But, okay, saya bagi masa. Awak tekanlah calculator tu. X squared plus 2. Okay, try untuk factorize. Tapi, kalau awak tekan dengan betul dalam soalan ni, jawapan awak akan keluar I. Because bila saya solvekan ni, kita akan dapat X is plus minus set of negative 2, which by the way dalam kalkulator awak akan keluar lah plus minus third 2i. I tu apa? Imaginary number. Imaginary part tu apa? Complex number, which by the way this is not real. Tak boleh kat bahagian ni. So bila tak boleh, kita nak buat apa? Kita biarkan je benda tu. Maksudnya on numerator part, leave it as it is. Walaupun dia melibatkan kita tak factorize tadi. Sebab kalau factorize dia jadi complex number. Tak boleh benda tu. So kita biar je. Okay, untuk keadaan ni lah kita boleh biarkan sahaja. So in this case, our zeros apa je yang tinggal? Negative 6 kan? Bahagian denominator. Okay, next terus sambung. Awak boleh terus construct the table. So we have x squared plus 2 as the first factor. And then x plus 6 as the second factor. And then our original. Okay. For our column, we only have 1, 0. So negative infinity, negative 6, positive infinity. Alright. So, for x squared plus 2, just now kita tak ada factor. So, kita takkan ada zeros. Since our function is x squared plus 2, apa yang awak kena faham behavior kat sini? Kalau saya substitute negative number kat dalam function ni, contohlah saya ambil negative 10. Negative 10 squared dia jadi apa? 100. 100 tambah 2, 102. Dia still positive number. Betul? Maksudnya kalau saya masukkan apa-apa nombor from negative infinity up till negative 6, we will get positive answer. Sebab tu saya letak positif. Okay, and then next one. If I substitute any number between negative 6 up to positive infinity. Contohlah saya ambil nombor 5. 5 masuk kat dalam function tu. 5 squared plus 2. We will get positive answer. That's why for this row, sign kita sentiasa positif. I would say always positif lah. Dia takkan jadi negatif kat situ. Tak boleh. Kenapa? Sebab yang saya highlight tu. Because our x is squared. Kalau dah x tu squared, dia akan jadi sentiasa positif. Impossible to get negative sign. Harap semua faham kat sini. Okay. Next one for x plus 6. Okay, bahagian yang sama. Empty. Kenapa? Numerator. So before is negative, after positive. Alright. And then last part, in order to choose the region, always refer to our question because it's less than 0. Kita kena pilih negative. So I choose negative region. Means in this case, our final answer is negative infinity up till negative 6. Okay. So that's all for rational inequality. Kita ada few special case. First tadi repeated factor. Ingat. Sekejap saya pergi kepada example tu. In case awak terlupa. Okay, yang ni tadi. Repeated factor. Table kita ada slightly different. Cara nak pilih jawapan pun slightly different. Careful for that part. Okay. Second case is when it comes to negative factor. My suggestion sentiasa biarkan ditukar jadi positive factor. Yang kita buat tadi kan. Kita terbalikkan sign soalan sebelum start construct the table. Okay, and then last one yang kita baru buat tadi when it's involving complex factor. So kalau complex factor, apa kita buat? Kita terus tulis je factor yang sepenuhnya kat dalam table x squared plus 2, tak perlu factorize. So dia takkan ada zeros and our sign is always positive. After that, awak dah boleh settlekan macam biasa. Alright, that's all for rational inequalities.